I'm Stacey Harmon.
Scott Schang.
Bob Watson.
Welcome to this edition of Table Topics RE. We're going to interview Scott about a recent conference that he attended in Denver.
Yes.
Where you were a rock star? Rock star?
I was there.
You were there.
I spoke, yeah.
So we want to hear.
I heard there was kind things said about what I think.
All right, so it was the Mortgage Tech Summit 11. Tell
That's
us what
correct.
the event was and a little bit about it.
Jason Berman put on the summit. He is the organizer of RE Blog World. It's usually the pre-Blog World
We
event.
love Jason. Hi, Jason.
We love Jason.
Hey, Jason,
and I
never
found
met
out
you,
that
but love you.
and I found out that JB in Frisco does not mean that he lives in San Francisco. There's a Frisco, Colorado, or Frisco, yes, Colorado.
Yes.
I was completely confused. I know now.
All clear now.
All clear now. Yeah, it was, this was actually really interesting. There was a couple of things that were interesting about it. The first one was the power of social networking. Jason put this together in 8 weeks. He
Wow.
he decided to do it, called some influencers, personally said, hey, do you want to speak or you want to support? And in 8 weeks we had probably about 120 people, I think, showed up. There was probably about 20 or 25 speakers from different places. Andy Kaufman was there. Jeff Corbett showed up. Heather Elias was there.
These are people from all over the United States.
Yeah, these are people from all over the United States that came. I think most of the attendees, it seemed like a lot of the attendees were kind of local, but he had a really great group of speakers. The speakers I thought were amazing.
What were some of the topics that were spoke about?
Oh boy, put me on the spot. Well, Mark Madsen was there talking about SEO, and that was really cool. Talking about guest blogging and search engine optimization. Is this a no acronym interview? And Heather was talking about how she's using Facebook ads for real estate. Jeff Corbett was talking about user experience.
Write these things down.
Yeah, there was a lot of diversity. Andy Kaufman was talking about making every month a 30-day challenge and productivity tools and challenges that he was doing.
What were some of the takeaways that you thought were themes of the event? Kind of surfaced as what people are maybe struggling with or curious about.
Yeah, I noticed something. I noticed something that really struck me is that the crowd is a lot different than a real estate space. And that's what I thought was really interesting, because the real estate bar camps, Andy Kaufman started in 2008. It didn't seem to me that the mortgage industry really was at the same speed. They weren't as comfortable with sharing, because a lot of what fascinates me, I think, is the transparency and the sharing and the people being willing to talk about what they're doing and what's working and what's not working. And we see a lot of that in a lot of these unconferences for real estate. But for the mortgage space, it really seemed like there was a lot of observers. There wasn't a lot of participation. It seemed like a lot of it was really, really new. And it was definitely different. It seems like they're a couple of years behind the transparency and the conversation that takes place in some other industries that I'm seeing that are really embracing social networking.
So what do you think the attendees were thinking the value was for them to be there? What are they looking for out of it that you think?
Exposing themselves to different conversations and new ideas.
Maybe new audiences too? Are they?
Yeah.
I mean, I assume they're there trying to reach new clients, figure out how to grow their business.
Yes, how to grow their business, and Jason did a great job of bringing a lot of diversity in there. It wasn't, even though it was kind of aimed at mortgage professionals, there were a lot of conversation from a lot of different aspects. Like Altos was there talking about how to use market data, and I don't know if a lot of mortgage people realize that they can use local neighborhood market data on their blog as something that they can as they can write about. I really enjoyed it. It was a great experience for me. I think it was a great experience for most of for the attendees. A lot of really good feedback, it seemed like, but it seemed like it was really new for them. So I want to really applaud Jason for trying to have a different type of a voice out there and create a different experience for people in that industry. And I think we're starting to, what I also got out of it is I think we're just now starting to blur the lines between real estate agents and mortgage lenders, because even though they have to work with each other, they all have very opinionated about the role that the other person plays, and it seems like that's always kind of been the thing. The mortgage industry thinks real estate agents are pushy, real estate agents think mortgage lenders are whatever, and there was a lot of talk about how they can work together and use social networking and social media to kind of build value for their for their same client.
Interesting. So how much do you think the new mortgage rules have affected mortgage people and made them come to the table to this conference?
Well, I mean, one of the things that happened in the mortgage industry is it was almost instantaneously commoditized. There was a lot of diversity, and mortgages stood for something different than they do now. With all the new government regulation, everybody has the exact same product now. Everybody. And so, I mean, that could be a good reason why the mortgage industry is so far behind in sharing and evolving, because they're so busy trying to stay in the industry. Because there's like half as many originators as there was before, just due to national and state licensing requirements, and underwriting guidelines change so quickly you just can't do it on your own anymore. Our industry is evolving, and a lot of people are in protection mode instead of
makes sense.
Innovation mode.
So is social media being seen as a potential differentiator for originators and lenders?
Absolutely. There was Frank Garay and Brian Stevens were there from Think Big, Work Small, who
wow,
very
impressive.
Yeah, they were very successfully have used media, and they're very topical daily real estate and mortgage show. And Brian Stevens was talking about content curation. Actually, he was talking about how to get content and what kinds of things to talk about, bring your personality into it. And Frank Garay was talking about video editing. So, I mean, they were very separate. But they were the same types of conversations that are going on. It just seemed like it was a lot more new to people. But it's...
So it sounds like, once again, we're hearing that social media is a great way to articulate your
differentiate
expertise,
yourself. Yep.
show, communicate to your audience, educate your audience, provide a differentiation, and get your message out.
Yeah, it was definitely about lead generation. How do we generate more leads? That was the sort of the
Everybody
undertone.
wants leads.
And yeah, everybody wants leads, and having to there's definitely a and I don't remember who brought it up, but Crossing the Chasm was brought up as one of those books that talks about how you go to bringing value. You're no longer marketing mortgages. You're now marketing something completely different. It's an experience. It's the person. It's your expertise. It's being recognized as somebody that can. Well, we talked a lot about answering questions. Most consumers are going online to ask questions, and if you're the person that's online answering questions, and so how do you be the one that gets found and gets trusted?
And you've done that very well through Homeownership University. I'm going to give him a plug here because he's done a fantastic job, Scott, on homeownershipuniversity.com.
And Dan Green was there, who does the mortgage report, and he's old school. I learned from him. He's phenomenal at creating an experience. But what I thought was really interesting, and this goes back to strategy again. What Dan does with his blog is he's looking for people that are at the very end of the process and they're ready to make a decision, whereas my entire marketing strategy was to get in front of the consumer before they were ready to do anything, to educate them in the very beginning stages, because I wanted to be the one to earn their trust and then refer them out to my real estate agent partners and friends and things like that. So we had completely different approaches at how we approach the consumer, but what was interesting is all of our systems were the same. It was educating, it was with the consumer in mind. It was user experience was.
And they were
was the
both
focus.
based in a purposeful strategy.
They are both
Yeah,
based in
you
an
have clarity
extremely
about what you were
purpose-
doing.
extremely purposeful strategy, and everybody that's successful, it seems like they know
Seems to be
why
a
they're
common
doing.
theme.
Yeah. Who would have thought? You've got to know why you're doing it before you get
Yeah.
into it.
Good lesson. So will this be repeating? Do we see another
Absolutely.
Mortgage Tech Summit? Do you know when yet?
Absolutely, this is going to be repeating, and it will be evolving. I think this was a fantastic experiment, and I think it was extremely successful. Probably a year from now is
Great.
what it sounds
Sounds
like.
like a great opportunity for anybody in the mortgage space, so thank you for bringing that to us.
No, thank you, Jason, for creating it. It was an awesome experience, and I think it went really well.
All right,
Just happy.
for this edition of Table Topics RE, thanks for watching. See you next time.
See you later.
Bye.